Today we're cracking open one of Puccini's most beloved operas, La Bohème. Picture this: France, dingy apartment, Christmas Eve. We have Rodolfo, who's a writer, and Marcello, who's a painter, and they're besties. They're poor, rent is due, and they can't afford heat, so they decide to burn one of Rodolfo's plays. Their friends Collini and Chonard arrive. Chonard just finished a big job, so they have lots of money to celebrate with. The friends decide to go out for celebrations, but Rodolfo decides to stay behind to finish up some writing. Rodolfo hears a knock at the door. This is where we meet Mimi, a beautiful young woman who's obviously a little sick. She comes in asking for her candle to be lit. And on her way out, she realizes she dropped her key.
Oh my god.
Rodolfo and Mimi start searching for the key. It's kind of dark, kind of romantic.
I love you.
And they end up touching hands. This is where Rodolfo and Mimi sing the famous arias Che gli di manina and Si mi chiamano Mimi, where they get to know each other. La Si mi chiamano Mimi, ma il mio nome è Lucia. The friends call up to Rodolfo to see if he's coming.
Let's go!
And he and Mimi leave for dinner arm in arm. We're now in the Latin Quarter, still in France. The friends are sitting outside Cafe Momus, and this is where we meet Museta, a beautiful singer that everyone has to stop and stare at. She's also Marcello's ex. They still have feelings for each other, so Museta makes a scene to try and get his attention. This is where she sings another famous aria, Quando men vo. She knows she has succeeded, and Museta and Marcello reunite. Marcello, sirena. Museta joins the friends and saves the day. She redirects their expensive restaurant bill, which they cannot pay for, to her sugar daddy, who she has just ditched for Marcello.
What?
The act ends with a big march through the square, and everyone lifts up Museta as they celebrate. We're now on the outskirts of Paris. We're outside a tavern, and it's the middle of winter. Mimi comes in very sick. Mimi's come to look for Marcello and ask him to help her and Rodolfo break up.
Game over.
Marcello sees Rodolfo coming and sends Mimi to go home.
Go, go, go!
Rodolfo says that Mimi is a coquette and a flirt, and he really can't stand that. But upon further pressing for Marcello, Rodolfo opens up and expresses that he's scared for her. Mimi! He knows she's sick and he doesn't have the money to support her. In true operatic fashion, Mimi did not go home. She was just hiding around the corner and heard everything. She comes stumbling out, revealing herself. We then hear a beautiful quartet where Museta and Marcello have a fiery, passionate argument and end the act breaking up. Pittori da bottega, vipera, rospo, strega! In the meantime, Mimi and Rodolfo decide to stay together through the lonely winter, but will break up come spring. Alla stagione fior. We're back at the apartment of Rodolfo and Marcello. They're trying to work, but are so heartbroken now that they are no longer with Mimi and Museta. Collini and Chonard come over again, and the boys decide to cheer themselves up by playing some make-believe. They pretend they're at a grand banquet with sword fighting and dancing and maybe a little bit of drag. They suddenly hear a knock at the door. It's Museta.
Hello.
She found a very sick and weak Mimi laying in the street and brought her to the apartment. The friends go off to sell what they can to buy medicine and whatever they can find to help Mimi, leaving Mimi and Rodolfo alone. Mimi and Rodolfo take the time to reminisce about the apartment where they met. The friends return and after some time have realized that Mimi has passed. The last one to find out is Rodolfo. He looks at everyone and asks, "Why are you all staring at me?" The only person who has the courage to say anything is Marcello, who utters the word coraggio. The last thing we hear are Rodolfo's cries of Mimi's name. Mimi! Mimi! And the haunting, sweeping chords of Puccini as the opera comes to a close. Stay tuned for more In a Nutshell. See you at the opera. Oh.